Hi, my name is Martha Witt, and first of all, I'd like to thank Agni for arranging this launch. It's wonderful to be able to connect, even if it is in the virtual world. I'm going to be reading from my story Nuraghe, which takes place in Sardinia. And the Nuraghe are these conical structures built between 1900 and 730 BC. And the narrator, Lori, is with her lover and also fellow translator, Angelo, in this story. And I'm actually going to be reading from the end of it. So they are sitting at a restaurant together, talking about the Nuraghe that they visited, as well as translation and their relationship. I inhale slowly. Angelo lights the cigarette between his lips and takes one puff before using it to point towards the site below. You Americans classify anything past 100 years old as ancient. Look down there, built 3,500 years ago. He flicks ash into the pristine white ashtray between us. In general, I hate cigarettes, but I love the aftertaste they leave in his mouth. Sunuraxi is better maintained, though, I tell him with unearned authority. Yesterday's tour guide had told us these stone towers were more likely built to offer a place for powerful men from outlying villages to convene. Nuraghe may have also provided refuge if villages came under attack. When archaeologists dredged the sacred pools, they found statuettes made of bronze, each one clutching a body part, belly, foot, head, a left or a right eye, sometimes both, that had been slipped into the pools so the water might heal their human counterparts. I exhale. Imagine the grating sound. Unable to explain in either English or Italian, I probably shouldn't try, but Angelo is looking at me, waiting. Imagine, I say, if there were no sacred pools, if those statuettes were left on the mountainside in the heat of the sun, think of the grating sound they'd make if they all moved simultaneously to reveal their spots of pain. My husband appreciates these sorts of musings. Jeff and I can spend hours in the hypothetical. Angelo looks away. He rubs his newly shaven jaw. I've categorized his various jaw rubbings, and this one falls solidly under the umbrella of having something unpleasant to tell me. He leans forward. We spend 2.5 weeks together a year, Lori. Some years we get no more than a few days. We're not kids anymore. Then, fist on the table, he tells me he can no longer take it. Non ne posso più. Fortunately, the waiter interrupts by sliding plates of fresh gnocchi in front of us. The sun has tipped past its midway point. Despite the warmth in the air, a veil of steam rises from our dishes. I allow a few seconds of silence before saying, "What's going on?" If he keeps forcing the situation, I may finally confess that more time together would only thin my desire, fed and sustained by my yearning when we're apart. After all, consider what happened to me and Jeff. It's not that I don't love my husband. I hear a crow squawk. I look up. Angelo shifts, sucks his lower lip, then lets it go with a pop. That passage about the mountain and the rosemary, the one you pronounced finished. The pacing, it's completely off. He points his fork at me. That's what you do, Lori. You pick a passage in each chapter, even though we're still in the rough draft phase. You insist on perfecting that passage. What a waste of time. But you don't ask my opinion. You don't want to know what I think. He swallows. Once you consider a passage perfect, you never want to touch it again. That's you, Lori. That's how we work. My pulse quickens, but I keep my tone measured and firm, managing to smile even while gently reminding him that's our way. He gives a quick single shake of his head. Your way, not mine. At some point, he mashed out his cigarette. The butt lies crumpled in the ashtray between us. He takes his fork and pushes at Inyoko. Those lines about the mountain, they're overblown and flat. The words hold no. Angelo purses his lips and rubs his fingers together. Flavor, spice, innuendo. You lost the grit of the original. The fact that he's mucking around in what's always been our procedure, the marrow of who we are together, cannot go unpunished. I conjure up an image of my husband and me. These revenge scenes are always domestic, conjugal. Jeff with his arm around me as we watch TV on the couch, or maybe we're walking along the beach holding hands. Or sometimes I'll recall a rainy afternoon at home cooking together. Jeffrey's got this way of smiling with just the left side of his face, an expression I adore. Without a trace of irritation, I speak slowly in English, as though Angelo risks misunderstanding. If it makes you happier, we can bulldoze all the way through to the end of the book and clean it up afterwards. With a nod, I add, I didn't know you felt so unhappy. My mistake. Another crow dips into the valley. Poor Angelo. I reach over and cover his hands with mine, announcing boldly, Stiamo bene. We're fine. I place my wrist firmly against the table's edge and watch him stab at 2 fat slices of mushroom. He takes a piece of bread before turning toward the ancient rock face. For each statuette found, archaeologists estimate another 2 still lie buried. I say, let's just enjoy ourselves. It's a glorious day, the food is good, we're together, and... My lover raises a hand, which I mistake for a gesture of dismissal, but as I carefully cross knife over fork on my plate, prepared this time for full-fledged argument, I hear it as well. A collective, ancient grating. The sound trails away over the mountainside, leaving a fine metallic dust floating in its wake, hovering a moment before settling, casting us as we are, bereft of any ritual for coming clean. Thank you.